Wildman Rouse here. Now, I don't believe in the impossible. I think everything is achievable. I'm a nightmare at a magic show when I go along because I sit there knowing that we're being duped and trying to see exactly how. Of course, they're so good at it that it's very, very difficult to work out all of these tricks. I've got the same attitude for my 25 years of being a pro, you know. I have made sure that I never hear from anyone, that's an impossible shot, that's an impossible shot. It's not impossible, okay? You just got to put your best Sherlock Holmes hat on and problem solve. Now, I wanted to show you an example to inspire you, okay? A few weeks ago, I shot these barn swallows in Africa. Really difficult birds, zipping everywhere, really unpredictable motion. I've never tried them before and I've never been able to do it before. Well, this time I hashtag nailed it. That's my new thing. Hashtag nailed it. And I want to show you how, step by step, so you can do the same and have the confidence to do the same with any system that you have. So carry on watching. All right, the first thing that you do is you got to watch, okay? So I watched as the swallows were flying across pieces of fresh elephant dung. They were still steaming. There were lots of flies coming off them. And of course, that's what the swallows were flying backwards and forwards getting. And I sat and I watched. I didn't just get a camera and blast. That's a really stupid thing to do because you will never get the pictures that you want, okay? You never get them. So I deliberately sat and I watched and I worked out the flight paths because the picture I want was this one. You can see on the screen where I got the backs of the wings. Not the underside because you see too much feather structure, but the backs of the wings. I think that's a much better picture to actually get. And I worked out that when they were flying across past the vegetation, they would bank and turn. And just as they banked and turned, they would be at their slowest, they would be gliding. So providing I could get a lock on as they went across, I could get the shot. Okay, now I don't expect to get thousands of shots. I want to get one or two or half a dozen or whatever in that hour that I'm shooting. And that's very important. You mustn't expect your camera to do miracles. This is not impossible, but it's very, very, very difficult. All right, so I've done the fieldcraft. I worked out I can do it. That's the position I want to get it in. What's the technical side? My first thing is that I know I've got to set at least a 5,000th of a second shutter speed to get a small bird in flight. The more, the better, okay? But 5,000 is the minimum that I will ever use. So on a cloudy day, pictures like this, not really going to work. But on a sunny day, you're going to get that shutter speed that's high, and it's going to allow you to reduce the ISO as well. I have no issue at setting ISO 3,200 or 6,400 on my A1 Mark II, because I know that there are products like DxO out there that are fantastic at reducing the noise, okay, if you have it. But here I shot these at ISO 400, so there's no noise on them at all. No need to put them through noise reduction software. They're sharp as a razor when they come out the camera. So first things first, shutter speed, okay, 5,000th of a second. Actually for these, they're all 8,000th of a second. Now you're going to say, what about the aperture? Aperture don't matter, okay? You want the minimum aperture that you can to keep the shutter speed high because you're going to get the bird banking when it's parallel as much as you can. So I shot these with a 7200 2.8. It's my 7200 2.8. I love this lens. I'm going to do a whole video on why 2.8 lenses are cool for you. But I love this. It's very fast, very accurate and amazing quality. And 2.8, again, important because it means I can keep the ISO down to get a high shutter speed. If I'm shooting at 5.6, obviously I have to shoot an ISO 2 stops above that. I don't want to do that. I want to keep the the ISO down enough so I don't have to noise reduce it. All right. So aperture about 2.8 there. I wouldn't go above 4 to do this kind of thing because the background's too much in. And I would also keep the shutter speed above a 5,000th of a second. All right. Almost there now. It's actually quite easy. The AF is next, okay? Now, there's no point having a single dot because single dot is very difficult to keep it on unless you're very smooth. So I had a 3x3 grid, okay? So not many dots, and I've made my own grid. On the Sony A1 Mark II, you can make your own AF grid now, and I know you can do that on other cameras, all right? So I made my own grid. Put it in the center, that's the most accurate, okay? And that's what I use. Obviously continuous focusing because you're not doing single, you're just using continuous. And then it was just a case of being a photographer. I photograph with both eyes open, okay? It allows me to see things coming. I have the camera not on 200mm, but on 70mm. So I watch when a bird comes across the frame. When I think it's on the flight path that I'd worked out, I'll zoom right in and try and get a lock. Obviously, I had subject recognition on to be birds. You would have maybe on another camera subject detect or something like that. Put it on because in the sunlight, it will detect the eye and it will be really, really cool. So I had that on. As soon as I saw that I had a lock, I zoomed in and I waited for the picture that I want. I'm not a blaster. I'm not just going to go and hope for the best because you get nothing, okay? You just get nothing and it's just luck. This isn't luck. This is skill that you're going to do here, okay? So nice fast shutter speed, good tracking motion. Track the one. As soon as you get the lock on it, it does what you want. Then you hit the hammer on the shutter button. And I had my shutter button set to 20 frames a second there. But as soon as it had finished the bank, I stopped. Okay, because I don't want to burn the card because, you know, it's, oh, I've got loads of cards. Yeah, you change the card and you miss the perfect shot of both of them flying and banking together and going, hello. So you miss that shot, okay, if you've burnt your card too much, all right? And I'd done a lot of leopards that morning, so I only literally had 2 cards left. So I had to be extremely careful the way I shot. But only 20 frames a second when I needed to, okay? I had a quick look at the pictures. I don't chimp much because I want to get the motion. So the lesson there is you've got to pick the ones that work. Not just blast at everything. You've got to sit, be very cool. There's no point in getting really emotional and jumping up and down. You don't get anything, all right? You've got to be very cool, very steady. Pick the one that you want. Take your time and enjoy it. And you know what? You should try this because I think now I've done this, I've got the confidence to try anything because I think I can do anything now and anything will work, all right? So have a go. For me, these barn swallows have been some of the best I've ever done. I hope you've enjoyed them too. As always, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want, the links are below to our Wild Bunch Patreon Club and our tours and safaris. And I'll see you all soon. Bye, bye, bye.